What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. And in this episode, I'm going to talk to you guys about Beast Wars Transformers. So this show, it aired in the early, I would say the 90s and the early 2000s. And it was broadcast all across the United States and Canada and other countries. I think it was all over the world. It was created in Canada. And the company that made it was actually made another TV show that I exposed called Reboot. It actually pushed the same kind of themes, but they were actually both funded by the government of Canada. So it was basically a government-funded program. And as I talk about on my channel, that I talk about how this world is a giant pyramid scheme ran by the devil. And these elites that are at the top, all the governments of the world, etc., and all these royal families and all these corporations and the Vatican and all these groups and stuff like that, secret societies, they're all networking and working together because they want to bind humanity. They want to rule over us like kings, like gods. They think they're gods. So, and they're using all media, all movies, video games, TV shows to influence us. And I've noticed upon my journey of truth seeking that all media is pretty much teaching the same thing. It's this world cult belief. And so in reality, you have two choices. You have choice one, that God created everything and that there is a beginning and an end, and that man and God are separate, and that God will eventually, and evil and good are separate, and man is eventually going to be judged at the end of time for all the deeds done, like all their evil in them, all the things they've done. Now you have the other belief, the second belief, which is what the cult believes. And they believe that everything is an infinite cycle and it goes on forever of birth, life, death, and reincarnation. And it's an infinite cycle, and that everything is basically God. And that God is just in an infinite cycle of experience. And that man can achieve a higher state of being, and that man wants to destroy this cycle because they are tired. They don't want to be suffering forever. You know what I mean? They want to become God. They want to become gods. So they think they can become a god. So that's what these elites believe. And they actually believe that God, they do believe that there's a God of the Bible, but they think he's evil and he's not the real God. They think the real God is like an energy source. They call it the source. You may have heard that term in other sci-fi, fantasy stuff, but basically in Beast Wars, and I remember watching this, I'm like, okay, this show is going to be pushing a lot of things, because the people who control this world are Satanists, and they want to invert everything. So everything that was from the Bible that God loves or that God made, they want to invert it and make it backwards. So there's going to be common themes that are pushed in society, and basically whatever is a lie will be promoted, because Satan is trying to lead you away from your potential, and you can only reach your potential by knowing God. You know what I mean? So in Beast Wars, it takes place, I'll tell you the story. It's about these Transformers, and basically, I want to tell you about the cult beliefs though. They do believe that God is not like singular, like they think he's dualistic. So they believe that there's a God of above and a God of below, and like yin and yang, and they believe that, but it's really, in reality, it's actually God from the Bible and Satan, and he's the temporary God, but he takes many forms. And basically, I noticed that this TV show promotes a lot of bullshit, so we're gonna get right into it. They pretty much this takes place 300 years after the original Transformers battles from the 80s. So the 80s Transformers were, I think, humanity, they were doing some kind of construction, and they dug into a cave, and it was like a million-year-old cave with like an ancient crashed space pod, and it had the ancient Autobots that were laying dormant. And then they awoken them, and basically it awoke all the machines in there, and they were pretty much the Autobots, and it was like the Autobots and the Decepticons, and they were having like a civil war basically. And it's like basically they're teaching the good and evil type thing that in the show I noticed they're teaching kind of the ancient Hindu, ancient Buddhist type belief. It's the same thing that it comes from there. So basically these guys were having a battle in space, and then they essentially crash land on, they go through So this is 300 years after the original battles on Earth. They're in space. They're having a space battle. They go through an anomaly and travel back in time. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into about this time travel, but I don't believe in time travel. I think we're right here and right now. There's no infinite, like, because these elites, they want to confuse you and teach you lies about everything, because we're actually at the center. We're actually at the center of everything. And there's no aliens. We are the special things. There's no alternate universes, alternate dimensions, alternate U's. There's no like black holes. There's no like outer space as you know it. We're literally like in an enclosed stationary realm, in an electromagnetic realm, and all the governments know this, but they want you to put in the kid's mind right when they barely can speak the ball Earth. Because they want to make you guys think in other aliens, that we're not special, that it's just like a cycle. The universe expands, it contracts, expands, contracts, infinite cycles, but it's a lie. It's a fucking. There are cycles and there are ages, and then there's an end. There's an end, and we're in like the 6th day of God, because God's 1,000 years is one day for God. But basically, these guys land on primitive Earth. They go back in time and they're on prehistoric Earth, where it's like millions of years in the past, and there's like no cities, no man is just like a monkey. And that's why this guy their leader takes the form of a primate, because they want to push the lie of evolution. In school, you're brainwashed literally about evolution, that, oh, man started out like a pond slime, and we slowly, gradually evolved into a fish, then a reptile, then a monkey, like a rat, then a monkey, then a human being. But that's bullshit. Man was advanced in the beginning, but they want to reverse everything. So they want to say, oh, the age of the Earth is old, when instead the age of the Earth is young. They want to say, oh, that man was primitive when we were advanced. They want to say, oh, we can go out there, but we can't. We can't go anywhere. So basically, these guys crash land, and it's a really interesting story. I feel like this is very ahead of its time. The voice acting, the animation, the actual animation, the quality, the sound effects and everything, very high quality. And I guess it was because it was a government project, but then things were probably made better back in the 90s. Now, if you ask them to make a project, they're gonna make a garbage piece of shit. Anyway, Beast Wars, like the beast system, because we're living in a beast system, satanic beast. They say Beast Wars. These guys scan the area, and then I was kind of thinking, oh, so these guys are gonna start promoting the human evolution lie, the same lie that Satan taught in the Garden of Eden, that you can become God. It's the same thing. So let's get right into the lore of Transformers. So basically, Transformers is about the same belief that there was this let me just see here, let's search it and read it exactly. Look, so like I said, these elites, Satanists, they believe that we are all one, and they want to blend everything. They want to blend good and evil. They want to blend cultures, countries. They want to blend religions. They want to blend, they want to make little kids like adults. They want to make men like women, women like men. They want to make everyone the same, like a robot, because they want to make everyone blending themselves into one androgynous, not a male, not female, like a robot. Because in the future, basically LGBTQ is connected to pedophilia, and LGBTQ is connected to transgender, and transgenderism is connected to transhumanism, which is becoming a man merging with machine, which is going to be a huge mistake. This is what the Bible's predicting, and this is what's all coming down to, that Satan's going to want us to become like machines. And this shows promoting that we can be advanced beings like these guys, as long as we have time and technology using science, because these elites want you to think that magic is just high level science. And that's exactly what happened. All these teachings, they come from Buddhism, came from ancient Hinduism, and ancient Hinduism failed the old nation because it actually taught, oh, you just do whatever you want and pleasure yourself and accept evil. And then guess what happened? All the people started doing bad things, and the whole culture, the society collapsed. So they started, a new modernized Buddhism was created, which is being more, kind of giving up things instead of trying to gain things. Basically, I don't believe that good and evil are one and the same thing, but Satan wants you to think that so you can do evil things and I can do good things and balance out my bad deeds. But they want you to join this world cult, and all these cultures in the old world, God created the beginning. He made the world, Adam and Eve. He taught them. They were advanced beings. They had advanced knowledge. They spread out across the world. Then they created all these massive cultures. And then the fallen angels came, right? So this is the fall. After the fall of man, Lucifer fell from heaven like lightning. So look for lightning symbolism. And look for black and white dualism. Anyway, these elites they use these symbols to communicate, and it's just, they're telling their core philosophies right there, the blending of the dualism, black and white, the good and evil, right? But it's not like that. God, we are not all one, you know what I mean? We're not all God, you know what I mean? Because think about it, if we are God, who knows what's best? Who's right? Who's in charge? We have a Heavenly Father who knows everything, who knows how to take care of us. I don't want to be God. I don't even know how to take care of us. You know what I mean? Think of it like that. Some higher power is in control. Some higher power is in command. And every culture has truths, but every culture has to submit to Jesus Christ, because Jesus Christ said he's the one that connects man to God, and he's God in human form. Anyway, so this cult, let's just see the Unicron. Unicron is a fictional villain from the Transformers. He looked like a devil. They actually make him look like a devil. So he's the evil half. And Primus, he's the opposite. He's the brother of him. Look, Unicron's origin has expanded over the years from simply being a large robot to being a god of chaos who devours realities. So he's just like Vishnu from the ancient Hindu god, because they have a destroyer god and a god of creation. It's the same thing, but it's a cycle. And then they want us to join their cult and believe their nonsense and break the cycle. But it's like if you follow Unicron, you know what happens to your mind? You go crazy. You get power, but you go crazy slowly. And then he takes control of you. This is exactly what happens when you join the Illuminati. But look at this. According to the Transformers lore, before the dawn of time, order and chaos existed within an extra-dimensional entity known as the One. To explore the fledgling universe, he creates two astral beings known as Unicron and divides his other twin, Primus. So Unicron and Primus. So it's like the good and the bad, the yin and the yang. They're both come from the One. So that's what they teach, that the One is like an energy source, and that man can tap into the One and manifest things. And we have like some kind of like, I mean, maybe we have some kind of abilities that we don't know, because there's so many things with the human body and the human mind that we've not even tapped our full potential. But to say that we are God is complete bullshit. Okay, God is God. The term God-like is God. I'm a God is thrown around so loosely. If you're a God, create a whole universe with life in one single spoken sentence. The word universe means in ancient Greek, single spoken sentence. Gods are not just, oh, I can destroy things. You know, I'm just telling you that, look, we can obviously see that these children's cartoons, they're all connected. I should look into He-Man, Masters of the Universe. I should look into that one. Probably right after this. But anyway, look, so basically these elites think, okay, the God of above, the Bible, the Primus God, he's of order and perfection and rules, and if he's like a kid playing with toys, creating things, and if he messes up, he gets angry and destroys everything. So remember these themes, I'm telling you, because this show, Beast Wars, I'm going to talk about episodes specifically. They're trying to make you guys think that God is evil, and that they teach the cycles and the One. They even have a scene about if you at the edge of the Matrix, which is the universe in their Beast Wars terminology, at the end of the universe, there's a place where all is one. This is what this one clown says.
For a second, where'd you go anyway?
Where all are one.
Oh, what?
I'll explain later. Let's just hope my trans-ion trail lasts long enough.
But they basically teach that they're just like they're like basically humans who are like machines, and they have a soul, but it's like a spark inside of them, and that we eventually can become like that. And guess what? In the show, they eventually meet. When they're crash land on this planet, you start seeing, okay, there's ancient humans, and they're like teaching the evolution lie that man was primitive and is advancing and this bullshit. And then you start seeing like, oh, these guys find ancient ruins. So they show these ancient ruins, and I'm going to show you here how they look like. And first of all, they show these ancient ruins, and the thing is that after the flood, God destroyed this old world because these fallen angels came and they taught man forbidden knowledge. And that forbidden knowledge is basically studies from the Kabbalah, ancient Jewish mysticism, which came from ancient Egypt. So these fallen angels, they taught man forbidden knowledge, like how to make swords, shields, bows, axes, how to use drugs and get high and get influenced by the spiritual realm, and how to do black magic, sorcery, sex magic, just evil teachings. Like they taught women how to make jewelry and vanity and makeup, and they taught man how to do illusions so that they could do like trick their people with entertainment, you know what I mean, and influence them. They taught them the caste system and even tillage, how to use money. So all this stuff, the root of money is, you know, money is the root of all evil. Is true because it's power that people seek, right? And you guys see the world is controlled, and people are literally selling out to this cult because they want power here, but it's not worth it. Trust me, it's not worth it. And whatever you do comes back to you. God will send it back to you. Trust me, good or evil, you know what I mean? So then in the Eastern side, they say it's karma, right? But it's actually divine karma. But it's God. Yeah, it's God. It's God. And God has a personality. He wants you to know him. You know what I mean? So basically, they crash land, and after that, you see that there's like these ancient ruins, and then they have one that looks like that's kind of funny. That it looks like the ruins in UK. What's it called? Okay, Stonehenge. They want you to think that they have one that looks like Stonehenge. They want you to think that this site is old, but really it's actually young. It's actually created like about 100 years ago, and this is where the elites sometimes they do rituals where they do human sacrifice. I just thought it was funny that they added that in here, because they also do show the Illuminati all-seeing eye in a pyramid in one episode here, and they show like an obelisk, like a phallic from ancient Egypt, which represents the god of above, god of below, if you have a reflecting pool placed in front of it. And then also they show like they're basically not alone. There's another race of advanced beings that are even more superior. They're like a spirit. They're like an energetic, highly transcended being that can actually shift into different dimensions. And they try to like create planets and experiments and life. And basically, when these guys are having a ancient war on this planet, they basically wake up and alert these advanced alien beings called the Vok. It's interesting, when you first meet them, they actually say like, hey, it's kind of, he says like, we have no physical form, but we've scanned your databases and have chosen like an authority figure from your databases, like your records.
Scan complete. This is the specimen we analyzed before.
Who are you? Unicron!
We have no physical form you could comprehend. We chose this figure of authority from your data tracks.
If you've scanned me, you know that we did not come to this planet by choice.
Yet you are here.
We mean no harm to you or this planet.
It is too late. You and your enemies have already contaminated the project. The harm has been done. That which does not become part of the One shall become void.
No! Wait! We can fix whatever damage was done.
We are not interested. The experiment will be sterilized.
You can't do that! There are living creatures here! You, with all your power, even you have no right!
We have no choice. There is more danger than you know. Begin termination sequence.
No!
And then he starts saying that they've pretty much like, they were doing an experiment with life, I guess. And these guys came and kind of fucked it up, you know what I mean? And tainted it. So then they opened up the moon, one of the planets, and it was like a giant super weapon. And they were gonna destroy the whole planet. But then Optimus Prime, the leader, the monkey, who he represents, like, you know, man evolving into a monkey, right? A human. He goes and sacrifices himself. But basically, you see that these Vok beings are basically like representing God, and they're like evil. They're like basically evil in the, because you don't want the Autobots to be destroyed, right, in the show. But basically, in the Beast Wars, it's not. We're actually following the ancestors of the Autobots and the Decepticons, who are the Maximals and the Predacons, but they're basically the same thing. Anyway, so they teach basically outer space lies, all these, and then they have a lot of scenes that are promoting the same theory about like ancient aliens. So the elites, they don't want you to think about fallen angels coming to it. They don't want you to think about the Bible being correct in the spiritual realm. They want you to think ancient aliens came here. That's why that's being always pushed and promoted. And everyone's starting to realize that the whole earth was destroyed by a flood and that all our ancestors were more advanced than we realized, because all these giant structures around the world, they were built and we can't even do that same thing today. But they had advanced knowledge. They were actually liquefying the stone. And all these old sites from all over the world, Mayan, Egypt, Mesopotamia, like Iran and stuff like that, they're all from the pre-flood. And these elites, they dug up the old world and they came across all these ancient old teachings. And also they did other stuff to figure out, like black magic, and they've done rituals, and they've probably contacted the spiritual side, the evil, the dark powers, the dark side. But these things are real, and basically what these fallen angels were teaching was that man can use science and pretty much break down everything in reality to control things. And basically that's what spellcraft is, that's what magic is, that's what the Kabbalah is. It's studying how to manipulate the energies of this world. But that's evil because you're doing manipulations. So that's connected with astrology, that's connected with tarot card reading and rituals. But I'm saying that this stuff is evil. God is watching people do this and he's saying, do not do it. It's evil. I'm watching you and I know what you're doing. The show also it promotes like evolution, promotes billions of years, time travel, space lie, transhumanism. So basically later on in the show, they actually find a way to harness that race's advanced technology and make themselves more advanced. So they make themselves transmetal, like Predacons or transmetal Autobots, whatever. And they're more powerful and they have more advanced like beings, like even telepathy and stuff. But I noticed that the show is trying to like kind of seed plant. It's a good seed planting show. And if you watch it now, it still holds up to today. But it's basically seed planting the Eric von Daniken Chariots of the Gods. So basically, this is a book, a theory that this guy wrote, a book in the 70s, I think. But it's pretty much teaching this bullshit lie that Scientology type. This is what Scientology basically is too. That's like there are other advanced beings and that we can become gods, and that our ancestors back in the day, they didn't see, because in ancient Hinduism, they have these stories about these beings having wars, and basically probably what they saw was when the fallen angels were here, they came here to teach man and rule as gods, but God sent another angel to capture them. So that's probably what they saw. And also there was a time when the fallen angels they started doing genetic experiments. So they started tampering with genetics. So all those Greek stories and all those giants and myths of like Medusa and all these beings, monsters, like they're real. They were all real because they actually were having genetic experiments. They had these creatures around, and also they had children with women, and they were mixing their blood with angelic blood with human blood, making Nephilim. So there are good angels, evil angels, spirits, and demons, you know. So God flooded the world because all these children, these Nephilim, these children of the fallen angels were becoming giants. And they were having wars, they were devouring one another. So all these old stories are real, but movies are trying to twist things. Like they tell the truth in movies and they tell the lies in news. So everything's reversed. Anyone who's promoted is evil. Anyone who's talked about big time in society is a sellout, because they're all going to come and try to teach you the same bullshit I'm talking about, these lies. So follow the patterns, follow and listen to what I'm saying. So Transformers Beast Wars was teaching the same thing, that they came from the one, that there's a dualistic good and evil, godlike beings. They're like robotic deities. And then they can turn into planets, right? And one of them is a planet devourer. He wants to take over the world, and he wants to assimilate everything and be nothing in the center of the universe. But Primus wants to protect and create life. So he fused somehow. He ended up becoming a planet, right? Cybertron, because I think the planet was going to die, so he somehow fused with it. This is in the old lore, right, of the planet, of the story of Transformers. And then basically he created the 13 primes. So they're like original deities. And then it's interesting, even one of the 13 primes, basically there was a story about one of these primes that he left and he went to create life on a planet. And he created another race of aliens and they just pretty much killed him. But it's always a theme about killing the god, you know what I mean? But if you see my channel, I'm always pointing out the same patterns and that the elites want to plant in your mind. So it's interesting that we see Unicron is depicted like a devil. Anyway, so then they're teaching ancient aliens, and then in the show you see scenes where like it's showing they pretty much show scenes that it's like representing religious or holy texts. Example, like they show these monkeys that are looking up and they see like these jets, these, you know, because these transports can turn into vehicles. They're flying and they're landing down. So it's like exactly what Chariots of the Gods was saying. Even my own atheistic father was telling me that when I was a kid. Oh, because I was hearing one side from one person, one side the other, and then he was saying, no, those that we didn't see angels, that those are just lights from like these giant machines, right? That technology, right? Anyway, so I hope you're following what I'm saying here. Oh yeah, and also you could see that the Transformers, some of them were, when they found this technology, they found these like discs. And it's funny, they found the one disc from Voyager. They always have that lie, the golden disc, Voyager. So they find, like, the reason that they even came to the planet is because I think Megatron... these Autobots in space found the disc. And then Megatron noticed that there was some symbol that represented Energon on that planet. So he went to find that Energon. Energon is some kind of, like, resource that gives them energy, right? So that they can have battle. And he wants to take over the world. But basically they find another disc that was on there. And they're not related, but this one's from Earth. But they could use this to see the future. And then the other one was like an alien disc that had information. Basically, they were teaching that, if you have like secret knowledge, you can make yourself like a god. You know what I mean? So it's always the same thing, that same theme, that you can become a god, or that there's another being that's like a god, and that God is not special. He's just some powerful being that we can become there like that in time. So it's very occultic teachings. And then also they have parts with like romance. Like, I know this is like a little small, but it's a little nitpicking, but I find it a little bit annoying for youth when they're little kids and you're throwing romance, you're making characters kiss, you're having love triangles, and you're putting all these things, exposing them to things they don't need to know about. Because that's exactly what Disney does. Disney is famous for gayifying and homifying, making your kids homo, making your kids gay, and all these occult cartoons are famous for making your kids gay. Like, they're designed to make your kids confused, whether through some kind of characters or dialogue that's like phrased really low key, or subliminal, or who knows, backmasking. I don't know how it works, but basically they confuse the kids, and they also like to shock the kids' mind. So I know Disney likes to kill parents of, children right in front of their like 3-year-old, and they're watching little Bambi's mom get killed off screen, you know what I mean? Or watching Nemo's parent die, or Simba's father get killed, you know what I mean? It's always the same bullshit. Oh, but we want to teach them about the circle of life so that they can learn how to fuck early on. Yeah, because I know this world is ran by pedophiles. Why do you think the pedophiles want the kids to grow up like that, right? So these guys want to allow everything. Let's allow everything. Let's allow love. Let's allow pedophilia. Let's allow drug use. Let's just have a big orgy in the earth. That's what these sick, disgusting, satanic cult wants to do. Well, not me, not by me. And also they have another scene, this is just kind of like a nitpicking too, but they have a scene where they're raising a character from the dead. So necromancy, and like that's pretty much like using magic, dark magic and science to like bring someone back to the dead. There's a lot of movies that show that. It's kind of like it's against the natural order of things, to be honest. Just like this Kabbalah stuff with the energy stuff, it's against the natural order of things. So anyway, basically that's pretty much my gripe with Beast Wars. It's a beautiful show, fun. I love to watch it. I love the action, but it's just another propaganda piece. God bless you and your families. Peace.
You there! Yes, finish installing that shielding plate. There. Put it on those bolts. No, there. Yeah, yes, there. Oh, for the love... No, right there. Do you understand? Yes, there. Now use the wrench to fasten it down.
Wrench?
Oh, the wrench, you imbecilic anthropoid.
Wrench?
Yes, that thing. Use it. Whatever.